Okay, seniors, so there are a few of you who are about midway through your research paper, and so I wanted to talk just a little bit about formatting your works cited page. All of you should be keeping your sources where you're getting your information from, either in a Word document, on a piece of paper, in a Google Docs document, so that when you get to the end of your paper, you know where to write your works cited and how to do it. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you guys this quick 12-minute video on how to write your works cited page. And after this is over, I will be doing a lecture separately tomorrow or Wednesday. Today's the 20th, so the 21st or the 22nd, on how to tidy up your body paragraphs, how to work on your conclusion, so that it is all set up. So I am going to now play video, and here you go.
Hey, so today's video is about formatting a paper in Google Docs. So the first thing I've done is, of course, open a Google document, and we're going to do MLA. So for MLA, let's take a look at what it looks like. Here's a sample of Ruma Ramos's paper from the 1301 Essay 1. And in MLA, you can see that you're going to have last name and the page number, and that reoccurs on every
Because remember, your paper is in MLA format.
Repeating. And then we're going to have our heading, which is just name, professor's name, course, date, and then title, and then the rest of the essay. Of course, if this was a formal essay, there'd be a page after this with the works cited. So I'll show you that as well. So let's get started. To put in the header, you can insert, or I just generally double click, and it gives us the header. Remember, anything you type above this line will occur on every page. We don't want that header all the way up at the top of the piece of paper, so enter twice, and then we want over on the right hand side last name, so type in your last name, put a space or two, and then we're going to insert header and page number. And so we're just going to do plain one. Let's pick that one right there. One of the things you want to do is make sure, notice that the default in Word is 11. No, we want 12. Let's make it as long as we can in as simple of ways. If you use Arial here, then you should use Arial there. If you change your font here in your header, make sure that you change it in your paper as well. I'm not picky in your MLA papers what font you use, just as long as it's a standard 12-point font. Don't make it 12.1, 12.2. Don't change your line spacing to anything it shouldn't be. Those kinds of things. People who assign papers have written papers and read lots of them. It's our superpower. We can look at it and recognize it's that. And it basically sends a message to your reader, you're a big dummy, you won't get this, I'll trick you. And that's the last thing you want to tell your reader, because then they're starting out by already thinking bad of you. And your format, before they read a word, is one of the ways you are judged. So whether that's right or not, we'll not debate, but we must acknowledge it. So you want to get your format right, because then when they first lay eyes on your paper, they immediately think about you as an organized, detail-oriented student who cares and is invested. And you want that idea in their mind. So last name, page number. Remember not to type in the number 1, but rather insert that page number so that the computer changes the page number whenever you go to another page. For example, here we are on 2, and it changed it for us. So that's step 1. The next thing is what's in our heading, and this will only be on page 1, so we want to make sure that it's not in that header section. If you can still see the line, don't type in there. So name, professor name, course, and date. So your name, notice that, check it out, not double spaced. I'm going to go in here and I'm going to press Control A. It's also, I did change my font, so since I changed my font there, I've got to change it here. 12 point, I want my line spacing right here to be double. Unlike Word, Google does not add spaces before or after paragraphs, so all you've got to do is click double and make sure that your that your font is the same as it is in your header. So your name, Professor Wood, your professor's name, the course you're in. English, you can just type the abbreviation, or you can type the whole word, and of course your course number, and then the date that you wrote your paper. Remember, if you use date, you can, if you want to, do 19 July 2018. We'll get rid of a comma there, or you can do it this way, but don't do the slashes, don't do the dashes. Next thing, I enter, and notice there's no extra space, just double space, double space, double space, double space. I'm going to center and put in my title, and then I'll enter again. I will go to the left tab, and then I'm just going to type my grade paper. And so make sure again that you don't put weird margins in, put extra spaces in, extra spacing in between your text, things like that. Those are just very well-known tricks, and if I can't get away with them, you're not going to. Those are the kinds of things, too, that really are insulting to a reader who has read a lot. So once you type your paper, if it is simply a personal paper, you're good to go. If you're working on a paper where you need to do citation, one of the things I do suggest you do is after you put in your title, before you even start writing your paper, press Control and Enter. You can also, the other way to do that is to insert, and we're going to insert a, where's it at? Oh, break, right there, a page break, okay? So that gives us 2 pages, right? Because if we're working where we need to cite our sources in MLA, this page is called Works Cited. If we just had one work, it would be simply Works Cited. If you do that before you write your paper, then you can, growl like a pirate, there we go. Then you can go ahead and write your paper, and say you come along and in MLA, say this is the author's name right here. So here's our author's name, and if we give an author's name, MLA is an author, and location source, so maybe that was on page 90. So we put in our source, and I'm just grabbing some text just to use to give you an example. Of course, we're not copying our sentence. But that way, if you're writing along and you use a source, you can go down here. Notice when I growl like a pirate, I got an extra space in there. I don't want that. But that way you can go down and you use a source, go in, type in that source, use your style guide, use your writer's reference, your MLA book. I do believe that somewhere in here there is, if you'll do a search for it, there is a citation generator that Google Docs has. The problem with citation generators, the problem with templates, the reason I show you how to do this step by step is sometimes they're wrong. And if they're wrong, it's your grade. It doesn't get held against them. So either way, you need to know what it looks like. So when you use the template or you use the citation generator, look at a sample. For example, here we're looking at Ruben's paper. If we're using citation, we're going to open up our writer's reference or open up writing down the basics and look at how to do this. So in this case, I don't have writing down the basics open. I'll put a link in the description though. But we're going to look at what should that citation look like and make sure it's right. I often find it's easier just to do it from scratch. So we put in that, we're going to have the author's name, and then of course, just as required by MLA or APA, whatever citation style we're using here, MLA, we're going to put that citation in. The other thing we have to do is we have to make sure that we get a hanging indent. And so here, under paragraph styles, oh no, it's not paragraph styles, it's a line and indent. No, it's not. Oh, that's right, they put it in a freaky place. Under page, no, it's not page setup. Cancel. I just did this. Format, paragraph styles, options, no, align and indent. Indentation options, special, hanging, watch what happens, apply. See how it scooched it over? So if we have, say we have another author that we use, and this one starts with D, and so we've done our citation citation there, and that was on page 87, and of course that period goes after there. Then we A, B, C, D, E, F, so we paste that in there, enter. There's our first citation. Since I did it before, it's still using the hanging indent style. Here, it's not, so I would have to go over here, format, align and indent, indentation options, special, hanging, apply, and of course FG, let's make this an M. Remember that you're going to list your sources in almost all. The main ones, APA, Chicago, and MLA in alphabetical order according to whatever comes first. So that's a good idea to put that page in there. So if you are writing a formal paper where you have to go through and do your citations as you use a source, you can just scroll down, put your citation in, go back, finish writing, you use another source, scroll down, put that citation wherever it belongs in relationships to the others, and you're done. So what have we done? We put the header in here, made sure that we inserted, when we put the page number in, inserted the page number so that the computer keeps up to date with the page. We made sure this was whatever font you're using, make sure it's the same, and it was 12. We highlighted it all, or I did Control A to get everything, and we formatted our line spacing right here. We set it to double. That was easy. Made sure, again, font matches, your name, professor, course, date, enter, center, no extra spaces, just enter once. This does not need to be bigger and bold, none of that, okay? That's not what it's about. Make sure that's centered, and then major words are capitalized for your title. Enter again, just once. Move it over to the left, tab to start your paragraphs. Don't forget that if you have extra space in between these, it is because this indentation, notice how that's extra space? That's what happens. It's that indentation is messed up. So you just want, when you click on your spacing, double, just make it still says add. Notice when you say add, it says remove, so you want to remove. And then if you are doing a paper that requires you to